Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord. Now, as you can see, I'm actually manning a little bit of a trebuchet right here, or as I like to call them, trebucket, because it's a very good bucket, don't you think? I'm just kidding, obviously. Anyway, the point is that we do have a siege tower going up over there on the left, and we also have a wonderful, wonderful battering ram at the front. So I'm very much hoping that we will be able to potentially get in there. As you can see, however, it seems like a bunch of our forces are actually being kind of, well, not so good, shall we say. Not so good, because they are actually defecting or indeed deserting and running away, which I don't appreciate very much. Now, this is Askar, by the way. We are actually here at Askar. And it seems as though we are not actually getting another thing reloaded here. We might actually... No, we still do have a couple of pieces of ammunition, but seems like that guy just wanted to run away. So I will try this once again, because of course last time we had numerous crashes. I don't know really why that would be, personally, because we were able to get onto the walls in my solo effort to, try and take the castle. Well, not, technically it's not even a castle, it's a town, but the point is that we also have a little bit of other drama going on in the game as I speak, and that's basically Botania. That's all you need to know. Botania, one word. Botania has declared war, and they've declared war against us, of course. So that's not going to go too well, because I'm not anywhere close to Botanian territory, but we know that Caladog, for example... Oh, there's actually a... Wow. Okay, the front door is actually open. Let's get over there, shall we? Let's try and get over there, try and flood into the battlements, and see what we can do. But just look at the spectacle. The spectacle of this. Just look at this insanity right here. This is crazy, because look at how many units are actually on the field at any one time. Bear in mind that I am starting to suffer a little bit of a frame rate drop at this point, and I have 1,000 battle size. So you can imagine that there's quite a few people on the battlefield right now. Let's actually have a look. We have 600, and the enemy has 360 on the battlefield right now. As you can see, look at this. Look at this insanity right here. I'm going to try and get past, see if I can maybe do a little bit of damage. Okay, never mind. Bear in mind that playing with a lower FPS is going to be a bit more difficult, but it's alright. It's alright. We're going to see what I can do here. I'm going to get out my polearm, I think. That's probably going to... Yes! Oh, yes. That does some nice damage. If I can get a clean hit with accuracy, then it will do a lot of damage. And obviously it is a very, very long weapon, so it is quite difficult to use in this situation, but hopefully I will be able to... Yes, look at that. If I could just stand here and just literally do overheads again and again and again, I will probably end up getting quite a few kills. But unfortunately, it seems as though the enemy is now starting to retreat. I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. Just look at this insanity that's going on here. The Vlandians are being so hyper-aggressive about taking this thing. And I actually entered this fight, as you can see, a little bit wounded, because I actually did do a field battle, and the field battle was fine. I did take some damage, but it was basically against someone that we outnumbered quite considerably, and I didn't really need to worry about, actually ending up losing or anything like that. Oh, hello. I thought to myself, why is my crossbowman shooting at me? And then it was just like, there's actually someone behind me. Great. Okay, so it seems like there's no one else around here. Bear in mind that you can't use ult in a siege to find out where the enemies are, so you kind of have to just follow your units and see what's going on. But look at this. There's actually units on top of the roofs. There's units running through the streets. This is what I've been talking about for many years now in Warband series, and basically me being like, wow, this mod is really cool because it provides this kind of atmosphere, this kind of immersion where you're running through the streets of an enemy town. Gecko Kujo was one of the first Warband mods that I played that had any kind of mechanic similar to this, and it did a great job. It did a great job. It's a mod set in feudal Japan, very, very accurate, very nicely done, very balanced as well, and a whole bunch of fun. So if you're looking for a Warband mod to play, then Gecko Kujo definitely is one that you want to check out, because it does have these kinds of sieges. That's the thing. Can you imagine it in Warband? I mean, really. It's really, really cool. Also, you can, of course, change the battle size to whatever you want it to be as well. So you don't necessarily have to stay with the default of 150. You could go for, you know, 300 or whatever your setup can handle, really. But obviously, the Warband engine is a little bit old now. Let's just say that. Anyway, there you go. That's a nice victory for us right there. Barely got any kills or any action whatsoever, unfortunately. I really wanted to get a little bit more there, but oh well, never mind. I do have quite a few prisoners, as you can see here, and I'm going to actually just recruit a couple of these. I know that they're Aserai units, but I'm just going to get them in my army anyway, just to kind of shore up our forces a little bit. And I'm going to continue getting infantry and crossbowmen. I know that seems like a bit of a weird thing to do with a faction that is primarily known for their knights and, well, not their knights specifically, but, you know, they're known for their cavalry anyway. And the reason why I'm doing that is literally just because I don't really want to use any of my horses at this point, but we are going to attempt to get to my castle now that we are at war against Battania, and we'll have to do something about them. So I will have to try and do something. And that means, you know what that means? That means that I will have to probably go back there, pick up all of my high-tier units, and then see what we can do in general. Now, this is a nice two-handed sword. Actually, I'm going to have a look and see whether this is better than what Kirislava is using, because she's actually using a sword that I crafted, amazingly enough. It has no name, unfortunately, but as you can see, it seems as though her sword is better, if you can believe it. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought that we would probably never have anything that good be crafted by me, you know, because I really didn't think so. Anyway, let's have a look at this this shield right here. This is a round shield. Personally, I really like round shields in comparison. I'm going to see what it looks like. Okay, well, yes, okay, it looks like that in general. Yes, I know that, but I actually wanted to see what it looked like on me. So I guess I will try it. Ah, not that large, is it? It's not that large, which is unfortunate. That's kind of a thing that I didn't want to go for. I wanted to go for a larger shield, but it's not actually. It says it's large? Yeah, it says it's a large shield, but I don't agree on that. I think it has a lot less surface area than the other shield that we were using beforehand, so not entirely sure what's going on with that, but otherwise, I am going to be buying some of these because I miss it. I miss using these weapons. They're fantastic. They're really, really good. And I don't think there's anything else that I really want to do here. So we will now exit. Do I want to recruit any troops? Probably not, but I will go to the keep and we will donate prisoners. And I have heard your calls. I have heard your calls for whenever I do a siege to please build siege towers and battering rams. I have seen that. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder or the suggestion or whatever you want to call it. I will attempt to do that in the future. I was kind of just thinking in old terms, in warband terms, because obviously in warband you just generally have ladders and that's literally it. And obviously then you run into the age-old problem of having a massive kind of stalemate between big amounts of forces, and you don't really want to have that happen in Bannerlord as well. So yeah, I will be building battering rams and siege towers in the future. And the Battanians actually declared war on us here. Calatilde is actually doing something quite nice by the looks of things. She is... oh, she's doing a castle siege. Apparently there's a siege going on right there. Oh, okay. Well, bear in mind that Battania is actually quite small in comparison to Vlandia, so I am actually thinking that we're going to do quite well here. I don't think that we will have too many difficulties in dealing with them. Now, bear in mind, it is going to take quite a bit of time for our child, myself, well, Barney's, shall we say, Barney's and Leana's child to be married. Well, yes, to be married, definitely. But to be born, let's start with that first, shall we? Anyway, oh no, my settlement Flinthorg is under attack. Ah, of course, those scoundrels. I can't believe they would do so. Yeah, I can believe it. Let's face it, I can believe it. All right, so that's, that is actually the village as far as I'm aware. So I don't really mind them, attacking that. I do mind about if they attack my castle. That would be bad. So I'm gonna have to rush back there as soon as possible, and see what we can do. Whoa, there's actually a lot of very, very... Look at these guys. They're running around with literally one person. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm actually gonna go in there. Can I? Never mind. Okay, apparently I don't need to go in there because they just got murdered by some mountain bandits and they actually got taken prisoner. I wonder whether I could... Oh, wait a minute. I could have attacked the mountain bandits, maybe. Huh. That might have made sense. Oh, well. I guess I lost that opportunity if I wanted to do it. Anyway, let's go over here, and I'm going to have to recruit a couple of people. I don't know whether these are Batanians, but I am going to just recruit them nevertheless, because this also does reduce the chances of them actually recruiting them anyway, and it seems like they have some pretty decent units there as well, pretty high tier. It seems like we have someone defecting away from Vlandia. Not a very nice thing to do at this point. I was hopeful that the anti-snowballing measures would actually prevent that kind of thing from happening. Yes, also, a lot of people, or maybe not a lot of people, but maybe some people have been suggesting that I buy animals instead of food. And I think that's actually a pretty cool idea. I'm not entirely sure how much food actually, animals actually provide, but we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to buy both of those horses as well. Oh yes, I've actually learned a little bit more, by the way, about the party speed little readout here. So you can see cargo within capacity, herd, and obviously during the night. Those are the things that are currently applying some kind of negative effect to my army speed, and I very much appreciate you letting me know about all those intricacies, because I actually got rid of a huge amount of my horses because I wanted to eliminate the herd deficit, because I actually had, I think it was like 0.16 or something like that in negative, which is actually quite a bit, considering you actually can go from 0.01 all the way up to 0.1. So there's actually quite a bit of variance in that. But anyway, we're now here at Flintold Castle. Seems like everything's fine here. And my walls have been upgraded to level 3. I'm actually going to be... I think I'm going to be getting lime kilns, because that is something that increases the production of the castle, which is very much necessary in my opinion. And we are also going to just be getting a whole bunch of other stuff too. And this, of course, does not cost money. I think that's also another nice little improvement that the developers have made from the jump from Warband over to Bannerlord, because in Warband, you had some improvements. You had a very small amount of improvements that you could do without mods adding them, and they were basically Prisoner Tower and the what's the thing that warns you? The Watchtower or something along those lines. And yeah, that was fine. That was absolutely fine. But then mods came in and they basically just went like, okay, well, we're just going to add a huge amount of very cool structures that you can build, but you can only build them with money, which is exactly the reason why I say that it's actually a really cool thing that Bannerlord has added in a kind of like a production/industry kind of resource, because that makes a huge difference in how everything is done. Even though I actually am swimming in money right now, through no fault of my own, literally just happened across it. But yeah, that's the point. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm actually now taking way too many people. So I will let my Aserai units station themselves in the garrison here, as well as the Batanians, because we are at war against both of them, and I don't really want to cause any kind of morale problems. I'm not entirely sure if it does. Let me actually just have a look here. Doesn't seem to, but I never know. So I'm just going to be a bit more on the safe side, because some things, yeah, they just kind of crop up, and you kind of want to prevent them from happening a little bit in advance. So I'm going to use some of the Sturgian units as well, if I can, and maybe some Khuzait. We are at war against the Khuzait, so maybe it would make things a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because, why not? There's only one of them. It surely wouldn't make too much of a difference in making them Really, really harsh. But there you go. Okay, so we've got 109 now, and I think that's pretty decent to kind of run around with, and maybe we'll be able to do something against the Botanians. I have 225 food. That seems pretty decent as well. Now, let's see. Pendrake Castle. We might want to try taking it, eh? What do you think? Oh, hello. Amalgan. Amalgan? Wait a minute. What's Amalgan doing here? Okay, well, I'm going to help Amalgan. And I can... This is just hilarious. Okay, auto-resolve it. What do you bet I lose a huge amount of units? No, okay. Didn't lose anyone. Do we get to take this guy prisoner now? Yes, we do. Okay, this is actually kind of fantastic. Not entirely sure if I should do this or whether I should just let him go. I mean, what does he have with us? He has a pretty neutral standpoint on us right now, so I guess I will let him go. Oh, apparently he doesn't. Apparently he's got minus 48. Oh, well. Never mind. I know a couple of people have suggested that I literally just continue executing a whole bunch of people. And I might very well do that, dependent on who we come across. You know, because at the moment I'm still trying to be as gallant as possible to make sure that our wife is happy, because we want to make sure that, you know, all of the heirs and, you know, she, as I said before, she is a powerful combat companion as well. So we want to make sure that that's all working as intended. But otherwise, we're going to go into the dungeon, because I would like to manage my prisoners here real quick. And we'll just place all of these in the garrison here. I know I could take them to you know, a town and donate them and so on. Ah, hello. Hello, Vilda. Vilda, how many people do you have? You have a bunch of low-tier units. This is fun. All right. Why does he want to attack Amalgan, by the way? I'm not entirely sure why he wants to attack Amalgan. That was a very grievous error on his part. I don't know why I keep saying grievous error. General Grievous? Generally Grievous? Maybe it's generally Grievous. Who knows? But anyway, let's make our way over here. Ah, fantastic. Very good. Oh, it's actually a 1 versus 1 battle as well. I very much appreciate that. I like it. I usually like it when it's just Lord versus Lord or a massive fight, you know. So I'm talking about massive amounts of vassals, like, I don't know, 9 on each side or something like that. That's also very fun. But I like these because it actually gives me an opportunity to practice a little bit more about how I can order my units around and try and make them into the best possible fighting machines that they can be. So let's just get these guys over here. It is a little bit dark, so we might have some issues. Oh, here we go. We actually have a river here. I feel like the river is actually quite a nice little placement as well, because this actually makes things much easier for us to deal with in regards to the cavalry, although they're actually already across. So it seems like you know, rivers and things like that, they kind of make not too much difference nowadays. So yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but yeah, not so much. There we go. There's that guy dead. There's a couple of extra little bits of damage. Just you see how much damage I'm capable of dealing with this thing? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I can just continue doing that damage, and we can just eliminate all of these brigands. I mean, literally, every single one of these brigands will die by my hand, maybe. And there we go. There's another one dead, and another one bites the dust. Yes, it does. Absolutely. And let's actually just tell my cavalry just to charge in right here, because they'll make quick work of the remaining forces. Actually, our crossbowmen made quick work of those guys. They certainly did. Do you see these crossbowmen? These guys are very, very dangerous. I would not want to be my opponent right now. So we're going to have to tell my infantry to actually go across the river here. Usually, if I was playing Warbandit at this point, I would probably wait for the AI to come across, because usually rivers make you very, very slow, but as you can see, there's literally almost no slowdown when I go through it with cavalry. And that is to be expected, of course, because horses usually will be able to go through shallow rivers relatively fast without having to worry too much. But obviously in Warband, that's a bit different. Okay, so let's get these guys over here. Let's actually move our archers. Yes, I know. I will try to remember my archers. Don't know why I can't remember them at any time. I guess it's because I always think of them as being quite fragile, and I don't really want to put them into a situation where they're going to end up dying. But obviously, then it, on the other hand, it then causes a huge amount of infantry deaths, and that's not exactly great. So let's tell my infantry to charge in right here. We'll tell our range to charge in as well, because they're just going to get into effective range, and then they'll start firing. And then we're going to take my cavalry, and we're going to charge at them from behind right here. And that's going to be a very nice situation to be in. I don't know why. I don't know why, but every time I charge into the infantry, I'm always just extremely inaccurate. I don't know why that is in comparison to fighting enemy cavalry, where I'm actually pretty good. It seems like I'm pretty good, but yeah, this kind of thing, no, not so much. As you can see, I think I just misjudged the range. Yeah, I'm just misjudging the range. I've got to be a bit more active, in my opinion, about what I can do with this polearm. And it's just a matter of practice, in my opinion. So there you go. Nice victory for us right there. I did end up losing 7 units, but that is really not a big deal. Look at that. 7.7 renown, 7.7 influence. That's actually kind of amusing, considering I lost 7 units. Anyway, there you go. Nice victory. And I don't know whether to take him prisoner or not. Let me actually just have a look here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he has minus 98 relation. And this, as far as I remember, is actually a defector. Yeah. As you can see, he is head of... Oh, he is actually the leader of this clan. That's very interesting. That is extremely interesting. Okay, so yeah, that basically means that he was one of the first clans, or leaders, or one of the leaders of the first clans, to leave Sturgia. He is generous, and he is merciful, so I'm not sure whether I want to execute him. I feel like I want to execute him, so I'm going to take him prisoner, and I will execute him. I will execute some, as I've said, and he is a defector that has basically caused Sturgia's fall, pretty much. So, I mean, I know it's not his fault, because, let's face it, he wasn't programmed, you know, entirely correctly at the beginning. So, you know, he was just doing what he thought was best at the time. But that's still, you know, I just kind of, I still want to make sure that he kind of knows that that's not okay, you know. Anyway, he's definitely going to know it after this. He's definitely going to know it. Actually, should I execute him? I don't know. I think the best thing maybe that I can do is basically just put him into the prisoner's hold. Just basically put him into the dungeon, and then he can just stay there for as long as possible, really. I don't know how long it actually takes for them to escape from a prisoner's hold, because I haven't really seen that yet. Because obviously in Warband there's a percentage chance for that to happen, basically. I don't know, every week or something like that. I'm actually unsure about that. I think probably every day. Probably every day there's a check to see whether a prisoner is going to escape. And I'm not sure if that particular percentage chance is the same in Bannerlord or not. But we're just going to wait here for some time. I've got 20 wounded troops at the moment, and you never know. Okay, so Glintor is actually being attacked. Where is that? Because I only know about Flintolg. Where is my other one? Where is that? Oh, it's over there. Oh, that's actually kind of good, and kind of a nice coincidence, because I was actually going to go back to, or go over, shall we say, to Pendrake Castle and see what's going on there. Okay, so hello. Ah, Amalgam. Amalgam needs some help. And look at this. We have Dirthart here. He's attempting to actually besiege. Oh wow, Pendrake Castle literally only has like 30 troops. I really should have just gone in there myself, to be honest, but I was attacking that other guy, you know? I was attacking that other guy. Oh well, never mind. Guess that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just get, you know, you just get there a little bit too late, you know? That seems to happen quite often to me, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, well, whatever the case, we will get our infantry into a nice shield wall, and I will try and take this guy out. He does have... Ooh, yeah. See, that's the thing. I didn't want to get too close to him, because he had a lance, and he was very willing to use it, and lose it, apparently, because he's dead now. So, there's also that. Okay, so let's get my archers to come ahead here, because I actually want them to be on this hill, if at all possible. Let's tell these guys to charge straight on in, and we'll just tell these guys to not stop, actually. We'll just tell them to auto-delegate. And they're moving into missile range, apparently. Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay, this is an Aserai defector. Oh, interesting. So we're getting a huge amount of different enemy variety right here as well, because first we're fighting a Sturgian, and now we're fighting an Aserai. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Okay, can I kill this archer, please? This archer is being actually kind of dangerous. Oh, never mind. Seems like it was taken out. There we go. Yes. I think the main issue that I have is that I see too many targets, and then I think to myself, but I want to attack that one. I want to attack this one, and so on and so forth. You know, I'm just too excited to get into the fight. That's kind of my downfall in many situations. So yeah, I probably need to watch out for that. But yeah, we lost no one, and Amalgan actually did lose quite a few. So hopefully the Southern Empire will not now declare war, because if they do, then we might have some issues. But anyway, my name is Barney, and for some reason you look kind of similar. This guy looks almost exactly the same as my character. That is kind of hilarious. It's probably the moustache, isn't it? It's probably the moustache that's doing that. Anyway, there you go. There's a nice victory for us. We'll take a couple of prisoners, even though it does weigh us down somewhat, but I suppose it's okay. I don't really need any other saddle horses, do I? No, not particularly. So probably just gonna leave everything here. And let's have a look. Okay, so there's a caravan. Oh, there's Pelisor. Hello, Pelisor. What are you doing there? He's actually running around with a very large army, amusingly enough. And this guy was just about to raid one of my villages, so I would like to be able to eliminate him if at all possible. I think I'm actually faster than he is, now that we have taken into account all of our various, shall we say, disadvantages and deficiencies in regards to our speed. So now we have, prisoners, as you can see, cargo with incapacity, and that's basically it. Everything else is giving me a good amount of speed bonus, which I very much appreciate. So let's try and catch this guy. It seems like another castle has actually been taken. I'm thinking that Vlandia might actually pull this off. We might be able to defend, in the end, against the Southern Empire, especially if some of the vassals from Battania and Azurai, they might decide to defect towards us. I don't know whether that will happen, obviously, because, let's face it, they're not joining my faction, and most of them actually hate me quite a bit because of all of my executing, I suppose. But the point is that, in general, hopefully, if they have a good relationship with Durthart or Calatild or any of the generals that we've seen so far, then we might very well have a good shot at attracting a whole bunch of defectors, which would be quite nice. So I'm just going to shift in my chair and get ready for this fight. And we're going to get our people up here. So let's just get our cavalry here. And I think we can do all right. I mean, it really depends. I mean, they have literally, 39 or something like that? I should be able to just literally charge straight on in, but I kind of want to be a bit cautious here because I don't want to lose anyone unnecessarily. And I think that's the key word here, unnecessary. So let's see if I can maybe do something. Oh, took out his horse almost immediately right there too. Okay, so I guess we'll just auto-delegate the infantry right here. And then these guys can literally just charge in and we'll get our ranged into position as well. So let's see if we can... Yes, there we go. That is some nice damage. And maybe if we get a nice charge in here, we might very well be able to have a morale, damage so high that the opponent is just literally going to run away. And that seems exactly what is happening right now. It seems like some of them are actually running, and that's great. I would like to be able to increase my polearm proficiency a little bit further as well. I think I'm kind of close to getting 75 polearm proficiency. And, let's just say that I would love to be able to see what those traits are. I think they actually give me... wasn't that the one that gives me 70% increased damage to horses or something like that? I think that's actually pretty cool. I actually attempted to win the battle there, but apparently there is still... there's actually still someone right here that needs to be eliminated. And I thought, oh, it's the leader. It was the leader himself. I'm surprised that he actually died last. That's also a bit of a change from Warband, because usually what happens is the leader will either charge in first and die almost immediately, or they will not even be on the battlefield because they'll be knocked unconscious. So, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Okay, I guess I will just... Should I take him prisoner? Should I let him go? Let's have a look. I mean, he's friends with Adram, who is also he's also the owner of Pendrake Castle, which is actually kind of amusing. I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I guess I could take him prisoner. I guess I will take him prisoner because he is -48, and it's going to take a pretty sizable amount of time to get any kind of benefit from their relations, so I might as well just take them prisoner at this point. Especially those guys. I won't take people prisoner that actually have a decent relation with us, so if there's anyone that has like neutral or -10 or something like that, then I will not take them prisoner in that case. So let's have a look here. So I would like to be able to... Yeah, it's a bit too far away, isn't it? But I would like to be able to donate a little bit of my prisoners, because I'm actually going to be moving quite slowly now. But as you can see, vote to disavow the debasement of the currency. Right, so let's do a little bit of voting. I do have 629 influence. And I think the game actually crashed. Alright, so here we go. We're actually back. Fantastically enough, my autosave was literally just before the battle with Tariq, and I just had to defeat him again. That was relatively simple and quite easy. Hello, looters. Yeah, you've got a very large army here for some reason. 79 of you in actual fact. Alright, well this is going to be pretty easy. Let's just send them in straight up, and we will... hopefully be able to... Wow, look at that. 4.1 renown for that? Really? That's actually kind of crazy. Anyway, yeah, these things are not going to be extremely useful to take, but I will be taking the food. And we do have quite a few people that need to level up now, no doubt. Yeah, it's usually a very nice idea to fight some looters every now and again, and we're just going to get some more infantry here. Wow, we've got a load of crossbowmen leveling up as well, which is very nice. I should probably start getting some Vlandian light cavalry, so I suppose I will start doing that, and then we can also level up. Oh yeah, the horses, there we go, Vlandian banner knight and everything, and the Imperial Cataphract unit as well. Alright, so that's pretty cool, very nice, and as you can see, this fellow actually also took Pendrake Castle. Hello, there seems to be someone else. Is he moving slower than we are? Nope, no, yeah, he is very much slower. He is very much slower, and he's actually attempting to take... well, not take, but he's attempting to raid my village, and I'm not a big fan of that, thank you very much, so we will be attacking him straight away. And, yeah, this is actually turning out to be a very nice move that we made, because obviously Sturgia was just about to be eliminated, or at the very least they were on the back foot like no one's business, because I probably caused it with the banner thing, you know, giving the dragon banner to them and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm basically just going to go and auto-delegate straight away, because these guys literally don't have that many units, and if we can catch them unawares, then we will be in a really, really good position. I've got to be a bit careful about the infantry though, because it seems like they might have spears, and that would not be too pleasing. So I'm going to try and target down their cavalry if at all possible. There we go, there's a Battanian scout already eliminated, and maybe we can cause a bit of a morale deficit for them, which I would very much like. There we go, nice. And as you can see, mount versus mount combat seems pretty easy in comparison to Warband, for example. But as I've mentioned before, it feels like cavalry versus infantry a little bit more difficult. I wonder whether the developers did that on purpose, because obviously the cavalry already have a pretty insane advantage. So maybe making it a little bit more difficult to kill infantry, even though this is not a good example of this. I am literally just cutting them down like no one's business. Yes, don't use this as an example, thank you. But yes, anything but this weapon, I would probably have quite a few difficulties dealing with infantry. But of course, that's just personal preference on my part. I'm sure there are many people that can make short-reach weapons work on a mount, but I would say that it's probably going to be much more difficult, for example, than using what I'm currently having here. And oh yeah, bear in mind, I think someone asked what this is. This is a War Razor. This is a War Razor polearm, and it's fantastic. I love it. I think it is possibly my favorite weapon, apart from the throwing weapons when I actually don't hit my own units with them, you know. But there you go. That's a very easy victory for us. We actually gained a good amount of renown for that as well. Bear in mind that renown is actually quite important for us. Okay, so these guys, they've got -62 with us. There's basically no reason for me to do anything but take this guy prisoner. And yeah, we're going to do that. There we go. And we're going to place all these guys. Actually, I'm going to take all of these prisoners as well, because even though we're over the limit, We are quite close to my castle. I might be able to put them all in the garrison there, but obviously we are quite far away. So if he does manage to escape, which might very well be the case, then that's just how it has to be. You know, if he manages to escape, then I'll just defeat him again. You know, I'll just defeat him again in that case. All right. Anything else? No, doesn't seem like it. All right, so yeah, Flinthall Castle is not even a stone's throw away, so we should be able to get there pretty quickly. And I'm going to vote on all these things as well, by the way, just in a second. I just want to make sure that we get over to our castle first, place all those prisoners in there, and that guy has a quest for us? Did you see that? That guy literally has a quest for us. Okay, that's kind of amusing. Yeah, so there you go. We've got everyone in there. What quest does he have for us? Because I can't speak to him right now. I mean, I guess I could enter the dungeon and actually go and speak to him in person, which would be quite funny. Should we actually try to do... Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is the new dungeon layout. I'm wondering whether you can do prison breaks like you could in Warband. Because if you could do prison breaks in this environment, you're going to be in a pretty difficult situation. Getting these guys out of here it's almost like a maze. All right, so hello. I'm not allowed to talk with you. Why not? I'm your captor. Oh well, never mind. All right, so we did capture 3 lords, which is actually very nice, and we also leveled up our forces like, well, no one's business. Yes. So yeah, that actually worked quite well. Let's level that guy up as well. There we are. All right, yeah, so pretty good. And what is actually going on here? So seems like Sturgia, seems like Vlandia is not really doing anything too badly. And as you can see, they have actually taken a, oh, they actually took the last Azurai Fief. Yeah, the guy that we were down there with decided to take that as well. So look at that. It seems as though if we go to the diplomacy screen, that is indeed the end. Oh, is that another crash? Yes, that is indeed another crash. All right, well, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.